Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now in this video, I will be reviewing Revoltech's Deathstroke. Now I do have a lot of Revoltech figures that I haven't really reviewed, so they are in my backlog. So I'm thinking that this week I'm gonna try catching up reviewing the Revoltech figures. And this is one of them, which is the Deathstroke version 1.5. Now Revoltech is famous for having QC issues, especially on their initial releases. Now, I don't know what is the issue on the first release of this figure, which I hope they fix in this 1.5. If you guys are aware, please leave a comment on the please leave a comment on what was the issue of this this figure on its initial release, and I'll try to have a look if I miss it during my review, if it was fixed. Anyway, guys, let's start with the packaging. So he came with a standard Revoltech closed box, so you don't really see anything about the figure. Everything's closed. It just says Revoltech and then a picture of the figure at the front. The side says Revoltech Deathstroke. The other side shows both the mess and unmess head of the figure. The bottom, some legalese, and then Revoltech. And the back showing some promo pic and different poses of the figure. Now, I did notice that in this line it says Justice League, so I guess they are following the Justice League IP on this one, but I was actually more. I actually thought more that this was like an Arkham Batman Arkham license or something. Anyway, guys, let us unbox this figure and see if whatever the issue was fixed and if Revoltech did justice to this character in action figure form, especially Revoltech style. These are everything out of the box. He also comes with this manual on how to attach everything, I guess. Now he comes with two alternate heads, one mess and one unmess. Now the mess head actually comes into two parts because the neck is a separate piece. Now he also comes with three pairs of alternate hands, basically a pair of trigger hands, a pair of palm open hands, and a pair of closed fist hands. Now he also comes with a pair of grenades, which if you will notice guys, there's that knob on them. That is actually in order to connect the grenade easily or more firmly on his hands. Now I am not sure if it is showing on the camera, but the wide open hands actually have some holes on the palm wherein you can easily put the knob on it if you so that you'll be able to hold the grenade more firmly. So yeah, those grenades are firmly secured on his hands, which I think is a pretty good design that Revoltech did. He also comes with one sniper gun, one small rifle, one staff, one small knife, two swords, now, these parts I think is I know I think they are more like for the storage of the two previous swords. And yeah, the two swords does fit on them. So these two black thingy are more for like for storage of the two swords when not in use, which I think connects to the back of Deathstroke. We'll see later. Now, these are two really weird looking sword. Nah, I think weird is not the right word to describe them. They actually look pretty cool. Now, I don't know why Deathstroke will have this type of sword because I do know Deathstroke to use step and the two normal swords that I formerly shown. Now, these two swords, I don't know what's the basis of this one because they really look like some kind of an artifact instead of swords. They really look ancient and the design of them looks like they're not normal swords. Now, not normal swords, I guess, is the way to describe them because they do have these fire effects that you can put on them. Now, if this is mystical or caused by magic, I don't know, or maybe just simple science. Anyway, that stroke, I guess, have a fire sword, and yeah, I'm not gonna complain here. And then there is this huge metallic sheet, which I guess is storage for those fire sword when not in use. And then I guess there's a way to connect this to Deathstroke back. And then lastly, there are this stuff which I guess is gonna be used in order to for you to put the weapon storage on that stroke. And of course, how can I forget? He also comes with his own, well, standard Revoltech base or stand, which is one less thing you need to worry about because this Revoltech stand, I actually like them. They are very sturdy. And since the joints are connected by screws, you can easily tighten them when they loosen up. Here is a complete 360-degree look of the figure. Now the figure scales 6 and 3/4 inches or close to 17 centimeters. Now the figure also has a glossy finish, so is really a very his armor is really very shiny. I think some people may not like that. It's because, especially me, I actually like matte finish figures, but I guess in the case of Robotech, they really prepared the glossy finish, and I guess for the aesthetic of this figure, considering that he's actually wearing an armor, I think the glossy finish fits better than a matte finish. Here is a close up of the head sculpt, specifically the unmasked head sculpt of Deathstroke. And may I say, for a comic version, I think this is a pretty good head sculpt of Deathstroke. The hair is, well, as I said, the finish of this figure is on the glossy side. So instead of white hair, his hair is actually silver, which I guess is a match on the overall theme on the finish of this figure. So here is the front of the figure. I like the chainmail design and the silver color. Now, the good thing about this figure is that he actually has this cover on his shoulder. So he has a shoulder armor which covers the Revoltech joints. So it makes posing this figure and hiding those joints easier. Here is the right side of the figure. Hmm. The connection of the joint, I mean the toe connection there is the what do you call that? The joint is actually visible. The metallic joint that they use, it is actually visible. Now here is the left side. Okay guys, the word I'm looking for is pin. The pin that connects the toe for the toe articulation is actually visible. Sorry guys, English is not actually my first language since I'm from the Philippines, so sometimes my brain just blank out and forget what a thing is called is in English. So sorry about that. And finally, here is the back of the figure. Guess that's a joint for the anything that you want to connect at the back. I actually like to use this hole for connection to the base or stand. It makes displaying this figure much cleaner instead of using the clamp. No, those two grenades are a different grenade compared to the one that I showed you that he can hold. These are actually fixed on his belt. Okay, before we start putting all of his accessories on him, let us first have a look at the articulation and get this out of the way. So for the head, the unmasked head, you can look down that far. You can actually look up. Nah, I think this gets in the way, so you can only look up that far until that's already gets in the way, so you cannot already look up that much when using the unmasked head. Then side to side, and there. Let's try that again. I find it weird. Hmm. Now, I think this neck piece is the one that is preventing him to have farther range because he has a separate articulation on the neck, but I'm having a hard time making him go up, look up because first this one and nah, I think it's also on the design of the head. The hair is already on the way there. So yeah, this is actually the first Amazing Yamaguchi wherein the articulation of the range of the head looking up is kind of limited. Let's try the unmasked head. I mean, sorry, this is already the masked head. Let's try the masked head. Okay, I figured it out. This is actually connected there at the back of there. It's actually connected there at the back of the neck. I thought this was actually loose and you can easily remove, but no. It is connected there at the back of the neck, thus limiting the movement of the neck despite of the fact that it has a separate joint. So it limits the neck from actually moving further back in order for the head to look up higher, to have more range on looking up. So yeah, this is the culprit. Now, that is only a problem on the mass head because sorry, why do I keep interchanging them? Now, that is only a problem. The range the limitation on the range when on the head looking up is only on the mass head. Because when it comes to the mass head, as I told before, it comes into two parts wherein the neck is separate to the head. There's no problem for it looking up because the neck is a separate piece. So yeah, that stroke can actually do this when using the mass head, which I like. Then side to side. Then, okay, I guess the opposite is on this one because looking down, it is pretty limited on the mass head. And then it shows that gap already when you are posing him looking down, which doesn't look really good. So let us just pose him like that. So that's it for the head articulation. Now I haven't been in the Amazing Yamaguchi line for a while, so that's why I'm just trying to catch up on their reissue or version 1.5, version 2. But I'm thinking, is this an old mold? Because I don't. The one thing that I like about Amazing Yamaguchi is the butterfly articulation, which I guess this figure doesn't have because the articulation on the case of this one is like this and that, so it open ups and it does do that, which for me doesn't make sense or is not It can work, but it doesn't look that good as compared to this one that I actually like, wherein you can do this for the butterfly articulation. I think this works better. This design works better. And yeah, for this that stroke, it doesn't have that design. Instead, it has this. It can look open wide, and then this, which doesn't really look good for a butterfly articulation. Now for the hands and shoulder, typical Amazing Yamaguchi joint, but wait, where is this connected? Okay, this connected to the hand, so yep, you can rotate. What happened? Okay, guys, I thought that I broke it because I was actually I thought this was connected to the hand, so when I rotate it will follow, but no, this is actually connected to this part, the chest part. So rotating this, yeah, it can easily be put back. It just popped out. It did not break. Thank God for that. So let me just try popping it back. There. Okay, very easy. But because of that design, rotating this up, this shoulder pad will limit it. Will limit the articulation. I guess not. I guess it works. I guess it works. I guess I can play around it. Okay, never mind what I said. It works. I thought it will not be able to raise his hand because this is connected to this part, but yeah, you can actually play around it, and honestly, it does look good. The only part of this that I don't like is really this one. Man, this would have been a perfect figure. Okay, what happened now? Okay, the wrist popped up. Now, the wrist connection on all Amazing Yamaguchi figure, I think, is the one that they need to improve because it is pretty loose. It is connected by a friction, so the connection between on the wrists and the hands is not really that solid. That's something that Amazing Yamaguchi needs to improve on. Okay, continuing the articulation check. I really don't like this. I don't like this design. So we can do the T pose up to that. Can do the T pose up to that, and then he does have a. Does he have a bicep cut? I don't think. I think it does, but no, he doesn't. He doesn't have a bicep cut. So the only rotation is on this one, and then the range of the hands is only up to that using the elbow joint, and then for the hands that can rotate, then yeah, typical wrist peg. Does he really not have a bicep cut? Okay, it is confirmed he doesn't have a bicep cut. So I'm thinking that this is really an old mold that they reissued. Anyway, guys, let's go with the abdominal cut. Okay, is it just me or does that net rotate? It's actually very hard on my part, so it doesn't rotate. It does go down, then it does go. Is that bend backward? So bending backward and bending forward, not a problem, but okay, I cannot. Okay, there. But it doesn't rotate. Does he have a waist rotation? Okay, he has a waist rotation, so I guess that's not going to be a problem. So putting them together, he can actually bend backward pretty good using both joints. And then Why am I having a hard time putting this back after I bend it backward? I think something's stuck there. Then it can also bend forward pretty well. Then side to side, I guess using only the waist joint. Okay, I'm starting to, since I've been reviewing the newer Revoltech figures, I think I can already feel that this is an old mold because the articulation that is actually pretty good on the newer Revoltech, such as the Batman Beyond, and the Spider-Man version 2. They actually have pretty good articulation, but this one I find limitation that is I find articulation limitation that is actually available on the newer models. Now for the legs, I think for the legs everything's still the same. No difference on the engineering there, so you can kick forward and backward that far. And then it does have thigh articulation here. Yeah, yes, thigh articulation there. Then okay, this is actually the issue that I have on my figure. Let's go here. This side is actually okay. I can easily bend that backward. So typical Amazing Yamaguchi joint. And then the joint here, which is again typical Amazing Yamaguchi joint. The leg can do that. Back, then ankle rocker, toe articulation. The issue that I have on this other leg is on the joint here. It keeps rotating out of place. So if you're not really careful, you might break it because just like now, look, it rotated out of place. So now it's okay, and then I need to put it back. I mean, look at that. That looks weird. This joint, I don't know, it's like it has a mind of its own. It keeps rotating by itself when you're trying to articulate it. That is a problem that I noticed on this one. Now, is that the problem that was on the first release or not? Anyway, you can do the Bandam. And yeah, thank God I'm done with articulation on this one. Anyway, I just also want to point out that this thing rotates in order to give way for the leg articulation. This articulation test was really kind of, I don't know, it really stressed me out to be honest because I it has some articulation point of articulation. I mean, the newer, as I said, the newer mold has some point of articulation which this doesn't have. I guess if they are gonna make a new version of it, they should at least have added those points of articulation. And again, guys, my problem with my version is this specifically this joint. Again, as I said, it's like it has a mind of its own. It just rotates on its own. Sometimes, which is why sometimes this leg looks weird because it is not aligned. Which is kind of actually weird because on the right side, that is not a problem. I can always do that. Now, in the case of this one, when I do that, look, it's like it's not on its. Okay, now it's just trying to embarrass me because it's now on the correct orientation. But I'm telling you guys, this thing keeps rotating. That when I that when it is not on the correct orientation, and you try to force this moving backward, thinking that it may be just tight, you might break that joint. And of course, since I'm trying to point it out now in front of the camera, it actually works perfectly. Story of my life. Anyway, guys, enough of the articulation. Um, it really kind of surprised me. So I guess this is an old mold because I did not really enjoy the articulation of this one as much as I enjoyed the other Amazing Yamaguchi figures. The joints are kind of tight. Sometimes after you move the joint, it gets stuck. This one, especially this one, the abdominal cut, this one, when you bend it backward there, okay. Now when you're trying to put it back, it's stuck. It's stuck. See, it's stuck now. So it's like something's getting in the way. So I had to use some force. Ah, it's really stuck. So I had to finagle it there. I tried to rotate it a little. So I'm thinking that, yeah, something's actually blocking it after you bend it backward. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy testing the articulation of this one because there are a lot of, I don't know, guys, enough of the articulation. Now for weapon storage, you can put the gun, the rifle here. So you can put the rifle there. Then you can put the knife there. Now for the sword storage, you can connect this to this joint. Which I'm having a hard time doing behind the camera. So let me just do this off camera. Which, surprise, surprise, can only fit one of the sword. It doesn't fit both of the sword. So I guess when you store this one, he should be holding this other one. I think it is. I thought that because of how big it is, it will fit both of them, but no, it only fits one of them. Now, if you want to store the other weapons on his back, you're gonna need to use this. So combine these two, then so it's gonna be like that, and then you connect this on his back. Now, this one you can use so that you can store the stuff like this one, and then you can connect it here, there. So for stuff storage. Now for the rifle, you can actually use this. So you need to put it there, there. So you need to connect it like that, and then connect this on the other hole, I guess. I guess I should put this one here for better orientation. Then this one I should connect here. Guess I should put the gun first because I'm having a hard time putting the gun first. When I mean I'm having a hard time when I put the stuff first. So that connects the gun. Yep. Guess it's better that way. And then this connects the step since the step has longer connection. So that's how it will look. And then This one then you're gonna need to connect. Hmm, where is the hole? What happened? Where is it? There? Is it? It is. Okay, it's hiding. So that's how it looks, which, to be honest, guys, does that look good? That doesn't look good, to be honest. I think it is too far away from the space between the back and the weapons is too far. This is a bad design for weapon storage. Maybe if you're only looking at the front, it's okay, but when you look at the side, that doesn't look good. So for the normal sword, using the same connector at the back, that's how it will look. And again, guys, I'll be honest. Be honest. Leave it on the comment. Does that look good? That doesn't look good. Now, again, at the front, it will be it does look okay and normal, but at the side, yeah, that is not a good design. I'm starting to lose hope on this figure. I actually had high hopes on it. I thought this is gonna be my definitive or favorite Deadpool, but right now, after reviewing Articulation, the mold, and this one, I'll be honest, guys, I'm kind of bummed. Anyway, let's continue with the review. Now, for some size comparison, here he is next to the Mess Toys Black Suit Spider Man. Here he is next to City Toys Amazing Spider Man version 2 KO. Here he is next to the Arkham Knight Batman. Here he is next to the Arkham Knight slash Red Hood. Here he is next to Batman Beyond. Here he is next to Catwoman. And finally, here he is next to Supergirl. Overall, I'll be honest, guys, as I review this figure further, I kinda got burnout and lost my interest on it. I guess it's because I really had very high hope when it comes to when I saw this Deathstroke, especially the promo pictures. Yeah, I guess the pose on the promo pictures this figure could do, but I don't know, guys. It just doesn't have the same cool effect when it comes to as compared to when I reviewed the newer figures such as the Arkham Knight and the Batman Beyond. And even the knockoff City Toys Spider Man. I had fun reviewing those, but this one, I don't know. The joints for me, I think, are too tight. And then I think there's also a problem on the design because I think some joint gets stuck up because specifically that connection on the abdominal cut when I bend it backward and then try to bend it back, put it back to normal. Something stuck there that you need to work around it in order for you to be able to put it back. And then the biggest cause of my stress on this figure is actually the left leg. That joint, that knee joint, has a mind of its own. I don't know why it rotates on its own. That if you're not careful, that you don't know that it is on the, you know, not on the correct orientation, you might break it. And then add to that the fact that the backpack connection for the storage they did, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, to be honest, guys. On the positive side, I do like the head sculpt of this one, but I guess what really bummed me out on this one is when I saw the articulation of the for the butterfly articulation, because that's one of the thing that I really like with the Amazing Yamaguchi line. And I guess this one uses the old engineering, which is actually too bad because the figure looks really looks good. But I don't know, I just get burned out. Maybe it's because of the number of accessories that he has or what, but I'm pretty sure that I started to lose interest while I was doing the articulation tests on this figure. So I guess it has something to do with the old engineering that they did for the butterfly articulation, and then that problem on the left knee joint. And as you can see, the one proof that I am burned out on reviewing this figure. I mean, for my final verdict, I didn't even think about posting it. It's just on a vanilla post right now. Anyway, guys, if this is your cup of tea because he does look good, then get it. But to be honest, guys, I didn't have the same satisfaction on on reviewing this figure as compared to the other newer Amazing Yamaguchi figure. Anyway, guys, if you reached this part of my video, thanks a lot. If you like my video, please don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, guys, enjoy life and keep collecting.